All right, let's now get to a conversation today. It's 9 days to the governorship election in Edo State, and 17 out of the 18 political parties fielding candidates for the election have signed a peace accord in Benin, that's the state capital. The People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Aso Ighodalo, however, refused to sign the peace accord after the party accused the police of allegedly siding with another political party ahead of the governorship election. Now, during the signing, INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu asked the political parties to remain peaceful and shun any act of violence during the election.
For us in INEC, at the election management body, I want to assure political parties and candidates that we'll continue to play our part according to the law and best practice as articulated in the clauses of the National Peace Accord. I appeal to political parties and candidates to note that it is not your signatures on the peace document that will guarantee peaceful elections. It is your commitment to its implementation that is critical.
On the program today, we take a critical look at the peace accord signed today ahead of the September the 21st governorship election. And meanwhile, leaders of Accord Party have started re-strategizing to improve their party's chances at the election. The leaders, led by the national chairman of the party in a meeting with stakeholders of the party, discussed steps towards recording success.
A political party is one that needs everyone to come together so as to build a formidable platform that will help our party at least contest and contend in the next election. We are looking at issues of states that we have gubernatorial elections. How do we participate effectively and ensure that Accord have a good show in all this? So we are hosting the Southern stakeholders meeting. See, we had Ondo, Ekiti, representative of those states here, Lagos, Ogun, and all here to discuss the way forward for the party. You know, currently Nigeria is faced with a series of challenges, and Nigeria is looking up to that party that could come up to rescue Nigeria from its current political and economic quagmire.
We had an emergency deck meeting where a resolution was actually passed to open the door and pave way for all our group members to come in. All suspended, expelled members were given waiver for them to come back into the party in order for us to grow the party together.
The ex-leadership that left the party has done many damage to the party, but I believe with the special grace of God, with God on his side, he is ready with the support of the people to put back Accord to the track.
Accord Party governorship candidate Kennedy Iyere joins me from at studio in Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So the peace accord was signed today. The peace accord was signed today in an already very tense atmosphere in Edo State. What do you make of the accord process? And then do you think that it will help in any way reduce some of the tension and violence we've seen in Edo State?
Yes, thank you very much for this invitation to your studio. Regarding the peace accord, signing that peace accord is just an effort in futility because the peace accord itself is a fraud. The peace accord is one of the biggest electoral fraud we have in this country. The peace accord is a business enterprise benefiting some people who have in some ways aided INEC in rigging elections. There was no need wasting my time signing a peace accord that would further help the rigging power of INEC. So for me, it's a fraudulent enterprise that should be eradicated. The peace accord is 100% fraudulent and it's a total fraud.
When you say, first of all, when you say that helping INEC in rigging election, many people will say, look, it is not INEC that rigs election, it is political parties, you know, and politicians like yourself that actually rigged the election. And then when you say it has not helped, we've seen this peace accord did not start today. A lot of states and you know, have signed it. Presidential candidates have signed it as well. And we've seen in some cases where it actually yielded results. So when you say it's a fraud, what exactly does that mean?
Let me say this to you. I am not a politician like the regular politician you see. I am a freelance entrepreneur and a serious social entrepreneur and a humanitarian activist. The fact that I choose to go for this very contest is because of the fact that INEC has made it very difficult, if not extremely impossible, for upright and noble and Nigerians of integrity to vie for political offices through elections and win on a very credible note. What you have within the system is a collection of corrupt people who are scrupulous in nature, unpatriotic, anti-people, undemocratic, coming together through a corrupt electoral process organized and governed by corrupt political parties. And what do you have? Candidates that are not competent, unpatriotic. At the end of the day, they are feeded. For me, I feel the time has come to disrupt the process. The biggest fraud today you have is our fraudulent electoral process. That's by the way. Now, coming to the very crux of the matter, having me or hearing me saying or classifying or referring or regarding the peace accord as a fraudulent enterprise, I'm going to take you through the lines of history and bring you now to the present place that we are. If time will not fail me, I would have told you that I have been part and parcel of the entire process. I've aligned with the Kuka Foundation. I've aligned with the National Peace Committee. I know the former president personally. I know Father Kuka personally. I relate with them. I speak with them. I have been part of election observations, and I will stand instances here. Let me tell you categorically clear that the peace accord is a business enterprise that is being coordinated by CSOs and bodies that are not legitimate, collecting money from organizations like the European Union, the USAID or the UK Aid, now Foreign and Commonwealth Office. And then the UK, EU, and the US. These are the people or the bodies that actually finance this criminal enterprise you call peace accord.
I would not let you call it. Hold on, Mr. Iyere, that's a very strong allegation to say it's a criminal enterprise. People get grants. The organizations that get grants and funding. It doesn't mean that they are, and that's not to say that this particular one is getting grants and funding. I'm just saying that, you know, as a response to what you're saying. Hold on, Mr. Iyere. It doesn't mean that it is criminal to say, I will not let you, you know, make that allegation. But we will take a break now, and then we'll come back and we'll continue from where we stopped. Stay with us. Right, thanks for staying with us. We're still speaking with the chairman, or rather the governorship candidate of the Accord Party in Edo State, Kennedy Iyere. He joins me from Abuja studio. Now, let's continue our conversation. We were talking about the peace accord earlier, but you are not even in Edo State. You have said that you won't sign it. First of all, you're not in Edo State to sign it. You are not in Edo State 9 days to the election. And yet you boast of your chances in this particular election, likening the election to a race or a relay, and that you are going to, in your words, dust Aswe Ighodalo and Monday Okpebholo. Why should Edo people take you seriously if you're not even campaigning in Edo State 9 days to the election?
You extracted a statement I have not made on this platform. I have not used the word on this platform during this interview that I'm going to dust Okwebolo and Aswelime. Please let that be corrected. What I always said to you is that the peace accord is not a legitimate enterprise. When I use the word fraudulent, you counter me, but let me come back from another perspective. I am a freelance entrepreneur. If you want to rate the biggest grant specialist in Africa, I should not come below the 3rd position. So I know how people and organizations get grants. And I am telling you that the executors of the peace accord are basically the National Peace Committee and the Cookout Center. And they get the funding from either the EU, the UK, or the US. And I am telling you, I have been an in-house member of that entire process. You work with TVC. I'm just a visitor. It will be foolhardy of me arguing with you when you have facts and figures regarding how administration is driven within the TVC enterprise. The peace accord, I will tell you this. Before the last general election, I came in touch with the former head of state, Abdul Salami Abubakar, His Excellency. I confronted him regarding the peace accord, the weak nature of it. What is the peace accord they are talking about? That they bring people together and ask you to sign a common agreement that you are going to have a peaceful contest, and that should you lose, you should go and seek redress from the court of law. Which court of law? During the period of the rigging, they will keep mute when things are going wrong. The best place to win an election in Nigeria is at the polls. Do not ever attempt going to the court. You will never find justice there. Because I know what I'm talking about. I am the founder and the convener of CSKIS. That is an acronym that stands for Civil Society Committee for Anti-Fraud Election Security. I have more than 200 CSOs that work with me. In that very committee, we monitor. Like the election that is coming in Edo, I'm going to quote institution, TMG. I am with them. That is the biggest body that observes elections. No election ever conducted that I have not observed. And I sponsor, through my organization also, a lot of other organizations or bodies that participate in that. I am telling you that if the EU and the UK and the US, they want us to have a credible election, they know what to do. For your information, are you aware that the same INEC that these so-called observers are meant to checkmate are the people who recommend the organization they will select to observe election? Can you build a house and you hire a security personnel armed with a pump action rifle, and then your car is parked inside? This same person, the same armed robbers that you wouldn't want to gain entry into your house is the person you have come to hire to be that your security guard. That means you do not value your cars or the items you have in your house. I do not say what I do not know. My name remains.
Well, you were saying what
the
you
former
say.
president know me.
Iyere, just a minute.
Can know me.
You say
knows me. And I am telling you that I know too well that peace accord has never solved, has never meant.
All right, Mr. Iyere, the point is
for
that
which
information
it was actually created.
That information is at your disposal, not at us, and we cannot. We don't allow statements that we have not verified.
And that is why you shouldn't
right,
counter,
you shouldn't counter
me when I am saying what I know.
Mr. Iyere, let's get to the question that I asked you earlier. You were saying that you have not made that statement on this platform. You made that statement within another interview. I think it's an online TV.
You can ask me now. You can ask me now. I will confirm.
You made that statement on another platform, an online TV, and you said that you were going to dust. You likened the race to a relay, and you actually said you were going to dust Aswe Ighodalo and Mondo Okpebholo if you are put side by side.
Well. Yes.
And I'm asking you where that confidence comes from, and then if you are not in Edo State 9 days to the election, why should Edo State people take you seriously?
Let me respond to you now. Should I respond to that?
Please go ahead.
I made that statement some few months ago, just when I emerged the winner of the primary conducted by my great party, Accord. It's on national news that I stood for that election and I won. And after I won the primary, my party at the state level, my state chair at the state level, brought in another candidate, another person whom I nominated as my running mate, who had not been to Nigeria for 15 years. Prior to the time I won that primary, I nominated him during my inaugural speech. That same person came in and started tussling to take over my candidacy. It's all over the media. It's all over the news. They even sponsored some people to protest against me to INEC that I was not eligible. Till this very moment, he is still doing it. Unknowingly to me that the guy that I nominated as my running mate wanted to use the candidacy as a platform or avenue to raise funds or funding from his supporter in the United States. His name is Bright N. Abulele. If you go to Benin today, he has his billboard, all for him, deputy candidacy. I wasn't ever coming to vie because I wanted to gain political power. I already have enough power. Political office are meant to serve the ordinary people. It's a selfless service you render as a public servant. But where people fight themselves just because they want to go into elections, that is not me. It cannot be me. I cannot be that ridiculous. So for that reason, I had to sideline and now put aside that ambition. Today in Abuja, I was to unveil a national presidential intervention program for youths, which we have postponed for some good reasons. I have better things to do as a free entrepreneur. I have better things to do as a social entrepreneur. There are so many ways you can help to rebuild Nigeria. You mustn't be a governor. You mustn't be a minister.
Just confirm
you must
for
not
us.
even become the president.
I have to quickly butt in there because I need to get your confirmation.
Coming again for what I said.
Let me tell you
my impact in the door.
Hold on, I'll get to your impact. But confirm for us that you are no longer participating in this election. I want to believe that that's what you're saying, that you have pulled out and no longer a candidate.
That is not what I have said.
So
but if you want me to respond to that,
please explain to us.
Let me tell you. Good. I am telling you, I am a political movement and an institution and a colossus. If I have any need to pull out, I will do it in a kingly way, in a volcanic manner. Let me tell you, go and check facts and history. Go and find out how Adeleke became the governor of Osun State. Go and find out how Peter Mba became the governor of Enugu State. I stopped there first. And you cannot rule out my impacts in Imo. Find out how Peter Obi became a movement. Find out the person who started the whole idea that later became the obedient movement. I am an institution. In my state, I stand to decide who becomes the next governor. I'm not boasting. I am a movement. And if I have any reason to want to pull out, I will pull out in a kingly manner, because a king does not appear in a place like a commoner. That is the truth. The name Comrade Iyere is an institution, well known. And I am telling you, I always say the things that I know. And if I have a reason to pull out, I will announce who I am going into affiliation or partnership with, and I can bet it on this channel that the person will emerge the winner. The facts and let me tell you who you are. I just quoted some names. Find out how Adeleke became governor. Find out how Uba became governor. Find out who made Obi that movement he has become today. That is the truth. And if I am coming to my
Mr. Iyere, I just want you to be very clear with us. You've said a lot of things. Can you be very clear that you're not going to pull out of this election, that you're still a candidate on the ballot in this election?
I am a candidate on the ballot. Very, very well in contention. I'm a candidate on the ballots. That is what nobody can dispute. But Edo is mine. You just said to me now, I'm not in Edo. My dear sister, I don't have to be in Edo. I have built my network. I have built my constituency. I'm a man who will leave his state and go to another state and influence who becomes the governor of that state, and we are talking of my own state, forget about that. People who have no credibility, who have no history, who have no pedigree, who have no credentials, are those that will be running up and down because you just want to start campaigning to people. A general in the army who has fought in Congo, who has fought in Kosovo, who has fought in Ukraine, who has fought in Russia, when he's coming to fight in a little village, he doesn't need to waste his own time trying to convince people. If you are a force, you are a force. Edo has 3 districts, three senatorial zones. I have a message for all of them. I will give Edo North tsunami. I will give Edo Central tornado. I will give Edo North volcano. When I step into Edo,
those are very strong weather conditions.
Forget about that.
Mr. Iyere.
We'll see how I am bringing.
Absolutely.
Because
we'll see how
I
you
want
put that out.
I want to transform the political atmosphere of Edo State.
Absolutely. I have just like a minute left. And I just wanted to quickly ask you, because you have talked about how this particular, the current government in Edo State hasn't done anything in the last 8 years. You've decried the infrastructure in Edo State and the fact that what you say is the governor's inability to bring in foreign direct investment into Edo State. Will it be right to say they haven't done anything in the last 8 years? And what exactly are you campaigning on? What will you do if you win the election?
I will start with Obaseki. And I'm sure he can hear me. And I'm sure he's going to watch this video. In 2020, I think, or thereabouts, I came with a contingent from the University of California, Davis, UC Davis. I went to solicit for an agricultural intervention grant. And I had a 10 billion naira worth of grants I was processing. Then I brought in that team from the United States. I had a meeting with the governor himself. When I got into that meeting, Felix Shuaibu was there, the deputy governor was there. The person that actually fixed that meeting was the former chairman of APC, Asemo Jesua. He is alive. The Felix Shuaibu is alive. Then I got the former...
I'm running out of time. I have 30 seconds left.
Yes, so
you have to go.
Now, when we came with that project, the governor called Joe Koje, the SA on agriculture. Before my eyes and before the eyes of the people from the United States, Obaseki and Joe told us and the team that they had enough money for agricultural intervention.
All right.
That project, Captain Hosa Okumbo, blessed memory, through his younger brother Bright, we syndicated it together. Do you know, later on, when the team went back,
all right, I have to go.
I
really know that
this project existed. Governor,
I would really have loved to, follow through what you're saying, but time is up. I do apologize. Thank you so much for your time. The governorship candidate of Accord Party in Edo State, Kennedy Iyere. Now that's the program today. Watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Precious Amayo.